have you seen a correlation between sports team and your teams and the leadership that you're seeing here?
Accountability.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a leader of your team or whatever, you got to hold your teammates accountable and hold them to the same standard that you hold everybody else to. And if someone's not achieving their goals or not meeting those standards, then you deal with that issue the best way you see fit. I mean, there's not much else to it. I mean, you guys go over like meetings, and if you're not meeting your goals, there has to be a reason as to why you're not meeting your goals. If there's not a reason, then there's a bigger underlying issue.
Welcome to Enrich Your Empire with Richie Huffman, the ultimate podcast for entrepreneurship, impactful wealth building, and effective team leadership. It's time to enrich your business and create a lasting legacy. Let's get to work. So guys, when I sit down with our franchise partners and small business owners, they talk a lot about living a legacy for their family. And today I had the great opportunity to sit down with two of our 5 children, Preston and Evan Huffman, and talk about their journey here at the Huffman Family office and accomplishing that for us and leaving a legacy. They talked a lot about how important it is for them as much as it is for the family. I hope you enjoy the show. All right, guys, so welcome back to Enrich Your Empire with Richie Huffman. I am super excited today. I actually have two of the 4 boys here today at HFB, both doing internships, and super excited. We were at dinner the other night, and my wife said to me, you're really in your glory, aren't you? And I said, yes, I am. So I've been waiting for this moment for a long, long time. So super glad you guys are here. So let's get into it, guys. So before we even start, let me just say I'm super proud of both of you. I'm super proud of the way that you guys have engaged in the business. We've been talking about Huffman Family Brands and Celebrate for a long, long time. You guys have heard it at the house. You've heard it at the dinner table. You've probably heard it in your entire life. So now here you are, and here you guys are in it. So I'm super proud of you guys being here and wanting to be here and engaged in the business. So what's going on? So how's the first, what are we in our 3rd week right now?
Yeah. Beginning of the 4th.
Beginning of the 4th. So, Evan, I know you were here last year. That's a part of the Huffman Family Brands onboarding process for family members and for our kids. You were here last year. Mm-hmm. So let's start with you. So what's been the difference between last year and this year?
Last year I kind of just got like a baseline. I spent 2 weeks with each department, and we're trying to get a feel for what each department includes and what they do and what their operational standpoints look like. And then this year I've just really worked with the real estate and construction department, getting a more in-depth understanding of what they do, because that's something that interests me.
Got it. And as you mentioned, this normally doesn't happen to you guys are in your junior year. Mm-hmm. And Preston, I decided this year, because you were old enough at the age of 20 that why wait? So I thought it would be a great idea for you to get in earlier. And so how's it been over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Good. Like Evan mentioned, I'm just kind of going through all the different aspects of the company and seeing what everyone does and how they play their role, and then deciding on what interests me and I guess what aspect I want to have impact on.
Yep. So what's been, as I mentioned, this is Evan's 2nd year, your 1st year, and you've heard a lot about what's happening here at HFB. What's been some of your kind of like aha moments, like, I didn't know that was happening?
I wouldn't say a specific thing. I guess just how fast it's moving. I think the coolest day for me was probably the decision day franchisee thing, just because it was like all of it coming into all the things I've seen come into one day. It was pretty cool.
Meaning what someone goes through to become a Celebrate franchise
partner? Yeah, that, and
partner.
then seeing how you present and how Chris presents and how Allison tells them about what she does and how all the pieces were kind of presented to them at the same time.
That's awesome. I love that. What about you, Ev?
What's been my favorite part so far?
What's been the difference between last year and this year, and kind of what would been your big takeaways so far, now that you're super focused on real estate and construction?
I would say the amount of work that goes into like lease negotiations and getting a lease agreement signed, and kind of like just the journey overall of the real estate and construction like process. It's been the coolest part. I went down to Jacksonville, Florida with Chris and Mr. Lubin and looked at a site that they're looking to build a franchise development on. So that was probably my favorite part so far.
Yep. So let me ask you guys this: if we were to do it differently, from your perspective as your experience, give me some takeaways of how we could do it a little bit different.
I mean,
I know I'm asking some tough questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say how we could do things differently. I mean,
how not from a business perspective, from my perspective, from us onboarding you guys on the way that we're doing it.
Do
you feel like you're getting? Like,
yeah, I feel like I'm getting a lot of good like information and like a lot of good learning experiences. I guess just maybe like I don't know, like yeah, I really don't know. I think I think it's been good so far.
Okay.
Are you talking about like just your kids or like for
anybody?
No, just you guys.
Anyone that wanted to work here.
No. I think that system is pretty well established. I'm talking about for you guys, for your onboarding.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I was talking about like, I mean, for us, obviously, like we know a lot more than a normal person would know because we've lived in it and heard about it our whole life. But
that's true.
Like when I met with Lisa, she was supposed to tell me about how the schools got started and how many locations there were and your story. Like that was a part of like the script, I guess, for her to explain to me. But I already know all that, so we just went into really talking about what she does and how her team works and stuff like that.
Got it. Okay. What else? Tell us a little bit. I know Preston, after his first week of being here, came home and told me he was quitting college. I was like, slow down, Press. So again, I guess.
Not what you said.
What'd I say?
You're like, yeah, I didn't go to college either, or something like that.
No, I said slow down. You've been there 1 week, but I think your point was, and you said this, that I've learned more in the last week from being here at HFB, and you actually put on top of that I actually enjoy it a lot more than the experience I'm having in college. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I mean, I feel like business management development classes are just basically like kind of seeing a different variety of situations or things that you could possibly see in the workplace or whatever. But here it's like you kind of know exactly the situation that's happening and you know how the company, like its goals, I guess. So like being here is just having a more magnified, I guess, example of what the problem that you could be solving is, but how you're going to manage it or how you're going to change stuff to get the result you want.
Have you seen some of those discussions or some of those points that they were making in school here?
No, not really. I mean, like they teach you like strategies and stuff, but strategies I think are based company on company, and they don't focus on early childhood education strategies in college.
But they talk about the importance of what I'm hearing from you, but they do talk about how important it is to have a strategy in an organization.
Yeah. It's more the organization part than the strategy, I think.
But here you're actually taking and hearing what they said and actually seeing the strategy being executed, implemented, discussed, discovered, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Right? So that's cool. What about from you, Ev?
I mean, some of the stuff that we talk about in school is definitely some things that you see showing up here, especially like I would assume that just because he hasn't like gotten into the more finite details of what we are doing here, it's more of a surface level like type of introduction to what each department does, like economics and demographics and stuff like that have shown up a lot as I've been doing the real estate and construction side of things. Like you gotta know the people that you're targeting, the market areas and stuff like that. So I'd definitely say that's something. Not that it's my interest, but like from a financial side of things, like cash flow statements, stuff like that. Like, yeah, you have to know that in order to run a business successfully, and that's something that shows up in school for sure.
Yep. Let me ask you guys a question. We've never forced you or told you that you guys had to be a part of HFB. Why did you make, and have you made that determination yet, or are you still looking at your options? And what excites you or what doesn't excite you about that as an opportunity?
I think I want to do it because it's like our family. It's like our own thing that you created from pretty young age. Like started when it was 1994, right?
Yeah, I was 26.
Yeah, and I mean it's a pretty cool and unique opportunity. There's different like brands that you can kind of take charge of if you really wanted to. You could do CPI, you could do enterprise, you could do the franchise development side of things. I just think that's something to like be proud of. Like it's your last name and something that if you weren't like if someone in our family weren't to take over at some point in time, then I don't think it'd mean as much, you know. So that's something that I like think's cool, and it's an opportunity for us to kind of take control of at some point. So
Yeah. Keep expanding, keep building. It's a legacy. It's a family. It's a family legacy here.
yeah, because like at that rate, like if say it gets to some point and you're done and none of us were interested in it, and you go and sell it, then it's not ours anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's I think family businesses and especially family offices is a great opportunity to keep the family together, right? And keeping families together I think has so many benefits.
yeah,
Right. If everybody's doing their own thing, then I don't know. I just think we're stronger together as a family.
yeah, and there's opportunities for everyone within like the company. I believe like Addison could come in here and do something. Camden could come in here and do something. Olin, Preston, and myself. I mean, there's a lot of different things that a lot of us could do, and I could see each other doing or going off their like in a separate direction. Like Addison can go do her horse thing,
Yep.
and Olin could go do whatever he wants to do.
Yep.
And Camden and Preston and so on and so forth. So
And the bond could still be there because the bond there could be then at that point just through the Huffman Family Foundation and us being very philanthropic as a family. And whether Addison's riding horses or Olin's doing something else, we still all come together to support our communities through the Huffman Family Foundation.
Yep.
So what's your thoughts, Press?
I think it's kind of like a silly question, I guess.
Really?
I mean, it's not a silly question, but like if you've seen something grow and it's yours and it's your family and there's so many different aspects like Evan mentioned, like why would you not? Like why would you not continue to do that and continue to grow it? Because like Evan mentioned, if none of us wanted to do that or none of us saw a path in that, then it wouldn't be a Huffman thing anymore. It would be a whoever you pass it on to.
When did you? That's such an interesting comment because some people, you said it's ours. Like, what gave you the impression? When did you think? When did you know? When that you were told this is ours? Because that's such a interesting question. Because some families don't operate that way. Some families operate, this is something that your mom and I created, and you guys are going to go out there and create your own. So where do you think that came from?
I feel like you told us that.
I did?
Like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say you said that directly, but
Yeah.
like you told us probably when we were, I don't know, at the age where we could understand what you were talking about. You were like, if that's what you want to do, then we have spots for you to do that, but I'm not just going to hand it to you and you're not going to come in and not work for what is, I wouldn't say handed to you, but
What's
you're not
required from the
yeah.
position?
You're going to have to fit those requirements, but I'm not just going to hand it to you and let you go off and mess it up or destroy that. But
Right.
And then you also told us if you don't want to do that, then you can go do whatever you want or whatever you desire, and I'll still support you, but I'm not going to let you you're not just going to hand us something, which happens often, like we've talked about in and family businesses where it's handed down to the next generation. It's just kind of ruined because they don't uphold the standard or whatever.
They didn't earn it,
Yeah.
right? They don't understand it, right? They weren't prepared for it. I mean, even in our business group, we talk about this a lot. Like, how do you make that transition, right? And I think I'm a believer. Your mom's a believer on the whole. We talk about this. It's the business and the assets that have been achieved. They're not yours, right? They're the Huffman families, and our job is to be good stewards of those, so it's protected and grows for the next generation.
Yeah, and then like the family huddles and stuff like that. Like I feel like it sounds like silly, but the minute like you started bringing home like your revenues and your stuff, like your accounts payable and debts and all this stuff that we have to like showing us financial statements, stuff like that. Like I feel like kind of we're showing us like basically what's going on, what we're dealing with, and then like giving us a more inside look, as opposed to like those family huddles at times are like about like how we're like growing together and what we want to do philanthropically and our own individual goals. But then once you start kind of bringing like the business side into it as well, then I feel like that kind of like was like, oh, well, he wants us to know this stuff. So then once we get to a point where we are willing to make a decision on what we're going to do, like we're in the know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we also asked for that, though.
Yeah.
Like, we used to come home and you'd tell us kind of surface layer or surface level about what's going on in the business. Then we asked, like, what's actually going on. Like, we want to see, like...
Give me some details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then if you just see surface level stuff, then you don't really, I guess, you're not grateful as much as you are once you actually see it.
Or understand the magnitude of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, the magnitude can come through the numbers, and the magnitude can come from you guys being here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think you touched on that a little bit.
Yeah, when I think the first time you probably showed us numbers when we were, I was probably like 16 years old, and seeing it, I'm not going to say the number that you showed us, but seeing a number like that, you're like, holy crap. Like, that's like, I don't know. It's just like putting it into, like you said, the magnitude of it is just way different.
Yeah. And I think with that said, there becomes a level of responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Some people look at that opportunity, that number, whatever, and go, oh, goody. Oh,
Yeah.
goody for me. Right? Or it's the attitude of, how do I continue to maintain this and grow this, not only for me and my future, for my family, but my future children.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know how we did it, but I think your mom and I did a really, really good job of balancing that. Because in some of my business meetings, we talk about that all the time. Like, when do you show your kids what the family has accomplished and what it has as far as assets and wealth, and does that lose their ability? Does that allow for them to lose that drive? And I think if you do it right, it actually inspires them to drive even harder.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the first thing that kind of like came to my mind, probably like I guess if you were 16, I was 18, was like seeing that number and then being like, all right, like how can we double or triple that?
Good.
Like I don't know, it's like we've been franchising for what six years, right?
We're in our 6th year now.
Yeah, and it's like you've seen it grow this much, and we have this many locations. Imagine 12 years from now, 18 years from now,
Yes.
like
Different level.
yeah.
I know you just mentioned how you guys, like, how you gave us that aspect, I guess, but I feel like that's also like the competitive level of all of us playing lacrosse
Sports.
our whole life. Like,
You
want to win.
You wanna win.
Yeah, you want to win. And you're either winning in your lacrosse game or you're winning in aspect of making that number grow. Like,
That
it's
is
the
such a
same
good
thing.
point. As you guys, we have 4 boys and a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and even Addison,
Yeah.
she is extremely competitive.
I don't think there's a person in our household that isn't competitive.
Okay, where do you think that's the
Maybe mom.
No, she still is
kidding.
too.
So is that what you would contribute that to?
Probably. I mean, there's not.
Everyone in our house is like that.
Yeah, there's
I know.
not
I guess where I'm headed with is where's that come from?
I don't know. Just
Who likes
Like,
losing?
Your parents?
nobody likes losing. A, B. You have Olin, who's the oldest, who would try to beat up on me when I was little, and we'd go back and forth playing
You accept it or you don't?
playing basketball outside, or like I don't know, doing stupid little games. Like last night, we literally like walked around our property. Me, Preston, Olin, Camden, and then my friend Jerry. For
Yeah.
people that are listening, that's living with us this summer, working in Baltimore. We walked around with wedges, and we were playing like golf, and targets were trees. And not to shout myself out, but I won last night. And then right as the game's over, Olin's like, "Oh, like for the main decider, we'll pull out drivers and see who can put it in the pond." And I'm like, all right, well, that's not my game. I'm not going to make it there.
I'm not taking that bet.
You are.
Owen stepped up, hitting the pond. I stepped up, hitting the pond. And Evan duck hooked it to the left.
And I was like,
there it is. There it is, right there. There it is, right there.
The sneak diss, right
no, there it is, right there.
But I was like,
he wasn't going to let you tell the story the way the way
I wanted
to tell
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I won the wedge game. Owen was like, I was up.
You were in the first. You won the first competition.
Yeah, and he tried to make it like a cumulative thing.
Yeah, no, that's a separate competition.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It. Yeah,
and
smart.
He was like, because I had beaten him 3-2, and I think Jerry scored like 1 point on one of the holes, whatever, and he was just like, yeah, so for the decider between me and you now, we have to hit it in the pond, and I was like, well, I'm up 1 on you. We're either tying or I'm winning, and he was like, oh, but then we'll hit it in the other pond, so that's the real decider. I'm like, no, I'm not going back and forth.
Owen lost his ball in the last hole, too.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
With that said, what do you think is the hardest or the easiest to step into a family legacy versus starting fresh? Like, does that make sense? Let me ask it a different way.
We haven't really fully stepped into the position, I feel like, yet, so I feel like we don't really know that whole answer.
But if you think about it, what would you think would be the hardest part about stepping into HFB? Because as you said, we're designing this thing pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty well. I mean, you came here, you're junior. We're actually modified that. You're here, as a freshman. So we've even sped the journey up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like still without it. So with all that, great strategy and thinking, what do you still think would be an obstacle for you guys to?
The most difficult part, I would say, is like learning the terminology, I guess, was probably the thing that I struggled with like the most the last summer, because you guys use a lot of like abbreviations.
You guys abbreviate everything.
A lot of different like terminologies that kind of don't really apply.
Coming from this generation that can't even send a proper text message out without a bunch of their own abbreviations. So okay.
I mean,
you guys are used to abbreviations, just not ours.
We don't use abbreviations. We just shorten words. You guys take 3 long words and make it into 3 letters.
That is abbreviation.
Yeah, but it's not like it's different.
I don't know. So that like keeping up with the conversation, like what you guys are talking about at times, is probably the most difficult. I mean, I got like a pretty good understanding by the end of the last summer on what was what, but I would say that
what language was being spoken here.
Yeah. I would say that's probably the most difficult part.
Okay. What's your thoughts?
I mean, like I just said, I feel like we're, at least for me, I'm not in it enough to really tell you what the hardest part about that is, but I think that, like we just talked about a minute ago, regardless of what the hardest part is, I feel like we all have that drive and competitiveness to want to chase after those goals or aspirations or whatever. And in a few of the meetings we've had the past 3 weeks I've been here, there's some stuff that you're like why are we talking about this? This is a no-brainer or whatever. And I feel like that competitive aspect just makes you want to move forward and not wasting time on the little things and focusing on like you said, we're not living in reality. Reality's not a word anymore. We're doing facts. That's just I don't know, being very straightforward and driving that is, I think, important, but I think it's hard at the same time.
What do you mean by that? Hard for who?
Sometimes, and I feel like our whole family's like this, but a lot of people aren't. Sometimes it's hard to get people to if you're running a team and you have that mindset and you want to reach that goal every month or you want to reach that goal every year, sometimes it's hard to get that to do a team. It's hard to get a team to do that with you, and it's hard to get, say, 6 members of your team to want to chase after that as much as you do, and you can't really do it all by yourself.
So I love this conversation, right? So what have you learned not only through your own athletics and being a part of some high-performing lacrosse teams, but have you seen a correlation between sports team and your teams and the leadership that you're seeing here?
Accountability.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a leader of your team or whatever, you got to hold your teammates accountable and hold them to the same standard that you hold everybody else to. And if someone's not achieving their goals or not meeting those standards, then you deal with that issue the best way you see fit. I mean, there's not much else to it. I mean, you guys go over like meetings, and if you're not meeting your goals, there has to be a reason as to why you're not meeting your goals. If there's not a reason, then there's a bigger underlying issue.
That is it there in a nutshell. That it right there is gold. If every young man like you guys got that message in college, and I'm not sure if they do or they don't, what you just said changes organizations.
You also need to have the ability as a leader, you also need to have the ability as a leader to hold yourself accountable and admit when you're not doing the expectation or you're not living up to that. Because not everyone's perfect. There's times where everyone messes up.
Totally.
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing is not like dancing around the truth.
Yeah.
I think if you're not meeting your numbers and you're like, I don't know what the factor may be, but
just be honest and give it to us so we can fix it.
Like, we're not meeting it because of blah, blah, blah. You're not throwing anybody underneath the bus.
No.
You're not, like, I don't know, trying to point the finger. It's just, hey, this month this setback happened because of blah, blah, blah. This is how we're going to deal with it going forward so this doesn't repeat itself. I feel like when you let problems just stack and stack and stack, then you're just constantly trying to play catch up, and that's where you get off track, obviously.
That falls right into the discussion about the reality thing that we talked about. Like, I don't care about the reality or what happened, how we're going to fix it, and why did it happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, because reality has no
Give me the
basis.
facts that led to that.
Yeah.
I don't need to know who did this, Sally did this, whatever.
Right. Yeah. In the journey that you're on, the journey that the journey of achieving the goal that you're out to achieve, somewhere, somehow in that journey, it was either the wrong journey, meaning it was the wrong steps forward to that, or it was the wrong people in the journey, or as you summarized it, Evan, it's people not holding others accountable to what they're responsible for, right? Just like in lacrosse.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Coach Berkman says all the time, right? Do your job, do it well, and get out.
Yep.
Right? He doesn't want you running. He doesn't want you clearing the ball and then running down and trying to score. He wants you to clear the ball, move the ball, and then get out. You've done your job. Great job. Now let the other players do their part and what they're really good at.
Yep.
So back to kind of wrap up. Back to your time spent here and whether or not you want to be here or not. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for embracing the opportunity, because this could have went, selfishly, as we've mentioned, selfishly, I want you to be here.
Yeah.
Right? Because the legacy in us as a family office is most important. Your mom and I were willing to accept if you wanted to do something else, but as you probably know, selfishly, I am in my glory.
Yeah.
Right now with both of you guys being here. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for participating and engaging the way you're engaging. I mean, I get compliments here every day about you guys and your level of engagement and enthusiasm and willingness to learn. So not only have you impressed the people here at HFB, but they're seeing what I've seen for the last 20 and 21 years. So thank you guys, and super proud of you, and HFB future is bright, and I can't wait to see it.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you guys.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to Enrich Your Empire. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn at Richie Huffman Celebrate. We've got more great episodes lined up for you, so check back with us soon. Until then, stay inspired, stay driven, and keep building your empire.